Kingdom concept number 8. Understanding the kingdom concept of culture. Culture encompasses many things. Once you understand the culture of a people, you understand the people. Everything that makes a nation and a people is wrapped up in their culture. As we have already seen, for example, every country has land, territory. Without land there is no country. Historically, the land a people inhabit significantly influences the culture they develop. Desert dwellers, for instance, are unlikely to develop a maritime culture unless they live along the coast. Their culture will reflect the arid environment in which they live. A second key component of every country is language. A country is not a country unless it has one major language. Many nations of the world have numerous sub-languages and dialects. But every nation always decides on one major language because language identifies you as a country. Language is the key to unity. It is also a key factor in a nation's culture. Again, as we saw earlier, all countries have laws. Every nation draws up a body of laws that everyone must obey to ensure peace, order, and security for the citizens. Without law there is no country because the absence of law leads to chaos, and you can't run a country or maintain a stable government in chaos. The laws of a nation reflect the culture of that nation and vice versa. Culture and law each affect the other. Every nation also utilizes specific and unique symbols to represent it and to help inspire unity, patriotism, loyalty, pride of nation, and a strong sense of national identity. The most familiar symbol of any nation is, of course, its flag. A nation's flag symbolizes its history, the sacrifices, suffering, and triumphs of its people, and what the people have constituted themselves to be. All of these things relate also to culture. Few national symbols are more powerful than the flag. Another element that all nations share in common is a constitution. As we saw in Chapter 6, a constitution is a contract between the people and their government. In many ways a constitution is a cultural document because it contains in codified form the laws, ideals, and values of the people, or of the king, depending on who wrote it. Furthermore, all nations have a moral code. A nation's moral code embodies the moral standards under which the people have agreed to live and by which they have chosen to govern themselves. In most cases, a moral code consists of both written and unwritten standards. The written standards are expressed through laws and statutes while the unwritten standards are transmitted primarily through traditions, customs, and culture. Respect other people's property, do not bear false witness in court, do not steal, do not murder, do not commit adultery. All of these are part of the moral code in virtually every nation and government on earth. A seventh common characteristic of all countries is shared values. In order to have a country that runs effectively, the people must share the same values in common. The people as a whole must agree that they all value the same thing, such as life or peace or freedom. Every nation also develops its own customs. Customs derive from a nation's shared values. A custom is a customary way of doing something, a behavioral pattern that is not only commonly accepted but also expected. Overall, customs generally are consistent throughout a nation, although there are many regional variations. Quite often a nation's customs are so distinctive that they become a point of identification for that nation, such as certain traditional manners of dress or kinds of foods. Finally, there are social norms. These are similar to customs but have greater force and authority within society. Social norms are standards of speech, thought, and behavior that are accepted by the wide majority of the people as right and proper. Violate a custom and you may be thought eccentric, violate a social norm and you risk being ostracized. All of these together, land, language, laws, symbols, constitution, moral code, shared values, customs, and social norms, comprise what we call culture.